All right, guys. How's it going? SeeJay here with another video. So in today's video, I wanted to create something that was a little bit more new player guide friendly, but I do think there might be some stuff in here that even your more consistent players might find some value in. So let's go ahead and look into a couple of things that I thought would be interesting to take a peek at and maybe help some players, especially if you're newer to the game. But again, even some players that might not even have knowledge to some of these little kind of like hidden features within Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth. So let's go ahead and take a peek at it. All right, guys, so let's dive into it. So for starters, sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. I've got the he shall not be named sickness going on. So yeah, anyways, just want to try to keep making sure I'm pumping out. My goal is to make a video every day. I feel like if I stay consistent to it, that I'll hold true to it. And then I think if I take a day off and skip a video and say, oh, I don't feel good, I'll make one, for the next day, that it'll kind of just create that imbalance in my head saying, oh, well, I didn't make 7 videos in a row last week, so what's the big deal if I skip one today? And although the news is a little dry and the last couple of videos I made over the last couple of days were talking a little bit more about how is the game doing in comparison to other games in this kind of genre, and just not really going negative, but just like communication. Like, we want some updates to the game. We're all big fans of this game and we want to just see it succeed. So I know they're coming from holiday, totally get it. We'll probably hear something early next week. That's fine. But, with the lack of news, the lack of character reveals and kits and my opinions of the characters and just kind of like good content as a kind of content creator in this space, to be able to add that value that, like I look for when I'm watching other content creators in this space and other games. It's been a little tough because we just haven't really had anything. Since I've started content creation on this channel for this game, there's been zero communication from the team. But regardless, not going into that. So in this video, I wanted to look at a few things that I thought were kind of interesting, little tidbits within the game that a lot of you probably know, but again, from a new player's perspective, they're not exactly point blank. Some of these aren't like, dude, like the obvious, but some of them are like a little bit more hidden kind of gems. So for starters, the one that's like one of the biggest hidden gems to me, and maybe a lot of you guys knew about this one, but I'll be honest, I really didn't know about this one. But I think it's kind of nice to know in case you're trying to understand some of these glyphs. If you go to the supply shop store, you click on one of the glyphs, right? And you click the icon within here, it actually just gives you like a quick snippet of each of the 6 slots and what can roll on those 6 slots. So kind of annoying it's only on this screen as far as I'm aware. Like, you can't see this anywhere else. This would be like a great like info kind of tip button you could click when you're in the glyph screen. Maybe there's a way to get to it. I just haven't figured it out. But if you're looking for the glyphs in the supply shop, you click the glyph and you click the eye, it opens up this panel, and it's kind of nice. Everyone really knows the slot 1, 2, 3 because they're static rolls, right? HP, damage, armor. But 4, 5, and 6, there are different rolls across the board. Slot 6 can roll everything, right? Slot 5 cannot roll focus. Yeah, it looks like it can't roll focus. And slot 4 can't roll resistance. So those are kind of the big outliers. So if you're trying to find like, oh, I want to have whatever resistance on all 3, like, you can't, or focus on all 3, you can't, right? Because it can only roll in specific slots. So I thought that was kind of like a neat tidbit. I really didn't know about this until I think I watched a video a week or so ago. I think it might have came from Quantum. So if you guys never seen his stuff, he's doing a really good job posting content on his channel, diving deep into like some raid information, some farming guides, a lot of free to play friendly guides. So he's an awesome content creator. But I think I watched one of his videos and he actually showed that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Another one, again, this one isn't like really hidden, but maybe you just don't know. If you go into the glyph systems, so if you go into the glyph system, you can obviously, filter these all down, which I wish they should just be filtered like this to begin with and not expanded but collapsed. That'd be, I think, just a lot cleaner. But outside of that, as a, another kind of quality of life change in the glyph system, there's not a lot you can do in here, but there is a way. If you wanted to sort these, you can actually go into them, click on the little up down, and actually do it in a specific order that you're interested in. So if you want to see all your your max level glyphs, it changes them all based off the level they're at. If you want to look at the ones that are like the HP rolls, or damage rolls, etc., etc. So you are able to do a little bit of sorting, very minimal, right? But there is something there. So if you didn't know, the up down arrow here does allow you to go ahead and at least make some kind of adjustments. And then also, if you were trying to see just like what do you have available to give to a character, and you wanted to kind of slim down your glyphs, because a lot of you guys are probably in the same boats as most of us, which is kind of approaching that constant cap glyph quantity, you can turn off the ones that are already being used, which, you know, again, that's not really something so hidden, but, you know, just again, if you didn't know, like, you can click the box and kind of get rid of a handful of them, so you're not looking at everything, just the ones that are currently unequipped on all your characters. Another one is in the raids bucket. So this one I thought was pretty cool too. I didn't really know about this one immediately, but over the last couple of weeks of raiding, it's certainly been kind of nice as like a, man, what did I use last week? Let me check my little tracker and see what team I ran. If you actually are in the raid, right, and you click on the difficulty, you can change, well, you can pick whatever difficulties you've been running on, but you can actually go to previous attempt and you can just use your team from a previous attempt. I don't know if it's multiple weeks tracking or if it's just last week's run. I'm assuming it's just last week's run of what teams you used. Could go further back, I don't 100% know. But again, I thought this was kind of like a fun way to just say, oh, this team worked really well. What was it again I used last week? Or I use this same team every week. I've just been getting them a little bit stronger, so let's keep progressing them. You can kind of come in here and you can quickly see what roster of 5 that I used for in a previous attempt from the last run. And you can see what you scored too. So when you're running it, you can say, okay, well, I made 538. And since I've, you know, 7-starred my Elro here, speaking from my count from last week to this week, I've 7-starred my Elro here. And I got Arwen to level 55 and I upgraded this, that, or the other thing, right? So if I scored a 538, unless I had just like RNGesus on my side, I would assume I could score that plus some, because my team is, this team is technically stronger than last week. So it's just like another good way in game that you can kind of see what you did and what you can kind of strive for your next run. And then another one that, again, this isn't probably like something that a lot of you don't know, but surprisingly enough for me, I didn't actually know this. So again, just things you learn when you're playing the game. This isn't something I didn't know for a long time, but this is something I didn't know at least after a few raids until I realized. So what I used to do is I'd run the raid, and then at the end of the 4th run, I would, you know, the raid would complete, and then I'd have all those unclaimed rewards. So I would just get a plethora of stuff in my inbox for the guild rewards and all of my personal rewards sent to me in my inbox. And I thought that's how it was done. Like, I thought you just had to wait until the raid was done to get your rewards. But then I found out that as you complete each individual raid run, you can actually come in here and click each of these little, you know, reward check marks and collect them as soon as you're done on your run. So if there's something you're looking for, like, oh man, I need another 100,000 gold to get X. Well, if you do your raid run, you can come in here and immediately collect it. So probably just stupid on my part that I should know that, but honestly, I didn't. I thought it was just you did the full raid and then you got your rewards, just like the guild one. You only get them at the end. I didn't know you could actually come in here and claim each one immediately following your runs. Like, you could do one run and then collect that rewards for that run, and then, you know, your second run, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then collect each along the way. So kind of nice, right? Like, you can get your rewards along the way. So if you didn't know you can collect your rewards while doing your raid runs, you can do it. You can do it throughout the entire run. You don't have to wait until the entire raid's completed. Another one is just more high level, but if you just don't really know how the energy works in this game, so you got your campaign energy and you got your guild energy. So I'm East Coast, so speaking from East Coast time, but it should be relevant in terms of the hours, no matter where you are playing this game. So you get a refresh, and I just did mine not that long ago before this video that I started recording, but you get 45 every 4 to 5 hours, 3 times a day. And I say 4 to 5 hours because at 11 a.m. you get a refresh and you get 45 campaign energy and guild energy, and then you get it again at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then you get it again at 8 p.m. Eastern. So it's 4 hours, you know, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then 5 hours, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. I don't know why they do 4 and then 5 hours and not just, like, you know, why not 3 and then 7? Not sure, but just to call that out in case you weren't really sure when it resets, it's 4 hours and then 5 hours. 3 times a day you can collect your 45, 45, 45. So it's 135 free energy per day for both campaign and guild. And to kind of tie into that, in case you didn't know, campaign refreshes 1 energy every 5 minutes and guild is 1 energy every 10 minutes. So in a day, if you're constantly coming in here and not over capping, which mine, you know, I'm making a bad example here, but I like I said, I just literally grabbed my refresh and then started recording this video. So I'm kind of a bad juju here with my over 120. So not gaining my 1 every 5 minutes now. You get 288 energy per day. Now that's obviously in a world where, like, you know, some of it's just going to be lost energy because you would probably not, you know, overnight 8 hours. I don't know if it ends up equating to over 120 or not, but overnight you're going to obviously probably lose a little bit because of sleep time, but you can get up to 288 per day. So that's pretty good, right? So you get your 288 plus your 135. So you're getting 423 energy per day for free. And then you're getting, you know, if you do your refreshes, you can upwards that. If you do 50x3, that's another 360. And then the guild energy, again, you're getting 144 per day. So the 144 plus the 135 is 279 energy per day. So just food for thought in case you didn't really know the reset times, how often it happened, and how much energy you can earn per day. Those are the numbers. Another one, again, I didn't know this. In one of my first videos I made, I actually had to wait until it came up on my screen because one of the first videos I made was the epic ability materials and saying, wow, they're offering this as a day 7 January like login reward. And I wanted to make a video of it. And of course I wanted to have it on my screen while I was recording the video, but I didn't know how to pull the calendar up. Like, how do I see the calendar again in game? Like, where does it exist? Maybe some of you guys know, maybe some of you don't. So here's just another tidbit in case you weren't aware. You go into your daily objective screen and you just click the little kind of flappy calendar icon. Boom, there you go. Your reward screen is up here. Again, I didn't know this existed here until I literally hunted around while I was kind of preparing this video on some like little sneaky tidbits, and I happened to find it. So I said, wow, that would have been really nice to know when I wanted to make my epic ability materials video and had to wait until the reset so it popped up on my front screen so that I could keep it open like it is right now to start recording. Would have been nice. So I didn't know, you know, 2 to 3 weeks ago, I didn't know that this existed here. A lot of you might know it, but maybe some of you don't, in case you wanted to go in and just see, oh, what am I getting tomorrow? Or am I getting some gems sometime soon? Oh, sweet, I'm getting 100 in 2 days. Great. So maybe I'll do a guild refresh because I know I'm going to get 100 for free anyways. Whatever, right? So just something to keep in mind. Another one a lot of you guys probably know, especially more seasoned players, kind of going back to the objective screen, you'll probably notice that I currently have Feely here, and that's because I just finished Strider. So if you finish Strider to 7 stars, it does switch characters to Feely. So in case you're wondering, like, oh, when I hit 7-star Strider, do I just stop getting anything? No, you actually get the Feely shards afterwards. So you can kind of double dip on Feely and get them up pretty quick because you can get 5 per day. And you can farm his, you know, his node, his campaign node. So you can actually get him fast. I'm using him as like my free 5 and farming Keely to just kind of get both dwarves at the same time around that 4 shard per day average that you would expect to get on a node, and him getting 5. So they're kind of, you know, leveled together pretty closely. But if I have the extra resources come time, which I doubt I will because Rumo and Orphan should be coming any day, along with some other characters that I definitely want to farm. Just FYI, there's not a third character right now. So if anyone's like far enough into this game, they might be at or past Feely being 7-star as well. So you're not getting anything outside of just completing your objectives through the day to get a little bit of, you know, just generic currencies for the game. But you do get Feely, and at some point you'll probably get a third character. I've heard in the beta it was Lady Eowyn. So maybe she's somewhere up on the next batch of potential characters, but I think a lot of people probably have Rohan close or not maxed out, including myself. So if it is her after Feely, I would just be done again anyway. So hopefully it's maybe a character that isn't quite, you know, maxed on most people's accounts. And then just like the last 2 I have here are kind of generic ones, nothing really too special, but in case you didn't know, again, if you click your portrait, you can change your portrait. Nothing really crazy here, but if you didn't know, in case you're wondering how people have different images, you can just click it and change it. And then the last one is actually just in the settings. So I've talked about this in a couple of videos, but the web store is really, really useful because you get free resources throughout the day. And if you didn't know how to do that, you go to your settings, you go to your account, and then you can go to EA and connect. And even when you connect, it doesn't say that you're connected, but this is where you would go to connect your account to your EA account. And if you don't have an EA account, you can create an account with the same email address, link them together, and then you can go to the web store and grab free resources through the brute every single day. And it refreshes 3 chests every single day, which you can definitely get 2, but the third one's tough just because it's 8 hours, and you know, just in a day with sleep, it's just probably harder to get all 3. But you definitely would get 2 per day, which gives you generally character shards every time, along with gold or XP or lots of different like character gear pieces. So it's nice, it's free, right? Anytime you get free resources in a resource game, go for it. But anyways, those are a couple of like the more, some well-known, some maybe you didn't know type of little tidbits in the game that I thought would be useful to share to people, especially for new players. Some of the other stuff that you guys probably all know how to get around, like going to your collection and, you know, filtering down to just different factions or races. Like, you know, I think the average player knows how to do that in these games, or use the sort feature here to go by power, etc. Nothing really too crazy there to understand. But a couple of the other ones, maybe you didn't know. Maybe if you're more seasoned player, you didn't know. So hopefully it helps. And appreciate the, you know, liking and subscribing and all that fun jazz. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.